You know, it's been a while since I did a video, but I'm back and I'm so happy that you're here. So this video is I'm just gonna be doing my makeup, kind of like get ready with me, chit chat type of video. And it's just gonna be like, we're just talking, having a conversation, okay? So let's get into it. All right, so I'll show you guys all of my stuff. Let me take this stuff out. What else? Okay, so we're gonna start with primer. It's the Maybelline Master Prime, primer and base 400. I've had this for so long. If you know me at all, I don't really wear makeup, so all of my makeup lasts a while. Oh my gosh. I don't even remember when I bought this primer because it's been so long. And you're like, yeah, we can tell because you can't get anything out, but there's stuff in there. It's just, oh, there you go. Okay, that took so long. As you can see, I have hyperpigmentation. I don't know. I've had it for a long time, but I don't really care too much to cover it. Like, I use skincare to kind of get rid of the dark spots, but it works slowly and I'm being patient with it. My skin has stopped, so that's the most important thing. I'm not really too worried about it. Okay, so where have I been? I've been doing the podcast, right? I have a podcast called For the Redefined. If you're here and you're already subscribed, you probably know about it. If you're new here, that's cool too. But yeah, it's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. May 5th will be a year. Yeah, I'm on season 2. I'm about to be done with it. So I was like, why don't I get back into YouTube? Because God just always pulls on me to keep talking and be comfortable with talking and, you know, just sharing my voice and sharing the things that he talks to me about and reveals to me. So I always think that it's so important to like stay in practice, because for me, I'm just very shy, and it can be hard when you haven't done something for a while to like get back into it. I'm super excited to be doing YouTube again, and I just have a different vibe. Like, as you can see, if you look at my other videos, I had a different intro, but then I was like super inspired to make a new one. So I did that last night, honestly. And I'm like, I'm on a roll and I'm being very, I feel very productive and I feel very like driven to try new stuff. So I was like, why don't I just stay on the roll and do the video the next day? In the next few weeks, or maybe even this week, I'm not really sure, I'll stop doing the podcast for a little bit and get ready for season 3, but I'll just be doing more YouTube videos so you can, you know, still have something to watch or listen to, or just, you know, have on while you're cleaning or whatever, just to have some time. Because I love YouTube videos, because it's kind of like, I'm a homebody, so it's like you have a friend and you're talking to somebody, but you're also by yourself at the same time. Hopefully, I'm a very introverted person, so I love being at home, but then it's like sometimes you get lonely and you're just like, I want to do something, I want to be with somebody, but I don't want to be with somebody. So this is for you, okay? Anybody, when they're doing their makeup, I hate when my like hands get dirty. I always go through like 5 paper towels every time I do my makeup. Okay, after the podcast, you're probably already, first of all, you're already noticing that I'm really bad at multitasking, so I'm like doing the same thing for like way too long. But yeah, the dark spots aren't completely gone, but I like that. I'm okay with it. I don't like too much makeup anyway. I like a natural look. Sometimes I'll do a little bit more, but. And this is the Tower 28 Sunny Days. It has SPF 30 and which one is it? Oh, 63rd Street. I don't know if you can see that. I like this stuff because when I'm not doing a video, this literally takes me like 5 minutes to do my face. Honestly, God told me to do the podcast like in like 2020, but I was so afraid to start. I was even more shy then than I am now. And he's brought me a long way. I'm doing YouTube now. It's really just crazy how, like, I talk about it in the podcast, how people that used to know me in like high school and stuff, they're like so surprised that I'm doing this, because I did not talk. Like, I barely talked when I was in like high school and junior high and stuff. I was not anybody that you would see doing too much. The only reason that people even really knew me was because I did volleyball. I did sports, so I did like track, gymnastics, volleyball, did a whole bunch of stuff. People knew me the most from volleyball because that's where I went for college, or that's what I did for college. And as you can see, I don't use a lot of brushes until like the end. Well, I haven't used any, but I don't like to use brushes until the end. This is Laura Mercier 5W, the Flawless Fusion Ultra Long Wear Concealer. I really like this, and I've had this for a while. I think this was like, I don't even know, maybe $30, but I've had it for so long and I really like it. It doesn't crease or anything, and it's just simple and cute. What else do I want to talk about? A little bit more about me. I'm a single gal. I'm 25. I love Jesus. And I've been a Christian my whole life, but I've really been walking with God since 2020. Well, the end of 2019. Oh shoot, that might have been too much. Yeah, that is when I really was serious about him. I feel like I've always had the Holy Spirit, but I was not listening. Came back to God after a failed relationship, a really bad failed relationship, as a lot of us do. And yeah, I just was like, okay, I'm really gonna start this. He literally broke my life entirely down, and I had to start over. So I was like, okay, well, this time I'm starting with you, and we're gonna do this together, and that's just what it's gonna be. Oh shoot. That was the blush from Rare Beauty, and it's called Joy blush. I love it. Not too much. I feel like I barely put any on more. Okay, and then I won't put in too much, because then I'm gonna put on highlighter, and then we're gonna blend it, and I'll blend it with the brush. Yeah, I've been walking really closely with God since then, and a whole bunch of stuff has happened. Started the podcast. I did have a clothing brand with my friend, and then we stopped doing that. I was like, I need something else to do. God, what we doing? And he was like, he brought up start the podcast again, and I was like, oh my gosh. Even before I did the podcast, I was doing like lives. This is dirty. I was doing Facebook Lives with my dad all the time. If you don't know, he's a life coach. He was on one of the episodes, The Power to Pivot, season 1 with Daryl Brown. He's been a life coach for over a decade, and we just had that conversation. But yeah, he really encouraged me to do the podcast still. I was doing the lives with him, and people really liked them. We were getting a lot of views, but then, you know, stuff happens. We just got busy, and we stopped doing it. And then I just wasn't comfortable with talking anymore. Oh, God was like, you know, you want to do this, like, you know, you're good at it, you're just nervous, like, but that's why you should do it, because you're nervous, basically, is what he told me. I was like, still not really trying to do it. So yeah, then I started the podcast. like I said, I've had the name. I knew God was telling me to do this in 2020, but I didn't do it. But now we're going to 2021. I don't know, whatever day it was. And yeah, no, 2022, obviously, because then maybe 5th will be a year. Yeah, so 2022. And I started it, put out the first episode, intro, my why. And yeah, that was the first one, just kind of saying why I wanted to do it, how everything started in my head, and I just go more in depth about everything that God was talking to me about if you want to listen to that. And what's my next thing I need to do? Let's do some of these eyebrows. I never do my eyebrows, but let's do the most for YouTube today. Oh shoot. Now I have multiple jobs. I have my regular day job. I work with my dad. I do social media for him, for his life coach business. My brother has a painting business that he's been doing for 2 years, and I do his social media for that. And we just started that, so I'm really excited about everything. Let's talk about what God has been teaching me. Lately, God is really preparing me for my next level. It's been really scary because it's just like, with this social media stuff, I definitely know I've been called to it, but it just makes me nervous because I'm like, I have an insecurity about being creative. I feel like I'm not as creative. Like, I just compare my creativity to other people's. It makes me not want to do it. It makes me not want to do it because I'm like, well, I'm not as creative as this person. So why are you calling me to this? Other people are way better than me at this, like. And I know it's a family business type of thing, like I'm doing it for my family, my dad, my brother, but I just feel very underqualified. But then I'm like, that's probably why he wants me to do this, because then I have to lean on him even more than usual. Like, if it was like volleyball coach, I don't think I would feel like leaning on him as much as I should, because I'm like, I've been playing volleyball for too many years. Like, I kind of know what to do if I have questions, blah blah. Like, I would need more faith for, like, maybe with the different girls' personalities and stuff like that. But like with volleyball, that wouldn't be an issue. But with this social media stuff, I have to lean on him for literally everything. Like, the amount that I pray about, okay, God, inspire me, like, lead. I use Canva, so I'm like, lead on this, give me inspiration. Like, I do that all the time because I have to, because like I said, I have to like really lean on him for my abilities, because it's just all new stuff. And I know that we all have had those times where it's like, God has called us to do something and we don't believe in ourselves. Like, he believes in us, but we don't believe in ourselves. And it's funny because me and my dad were having a conversation. He called me and he was like, you ask people, do you believe in God? And we're like, yes, what do you mean? I definitely believe in God. And then when God tells us to do something, we're like, well, God, am I good enough? Like, but we forget that his spirit lives inside of us. He has more faith in us than we have in ourselves. And that's our disconnect as humans and as Christians, because yes, we're supposed to, oh gosh, I almost poked myself. Yes, we're supposed to believe in God, but God believes in us, so why don't we believe in us too? It makes you think about so many other things that we could be doing for the kingdom, but we don't think we're good enough. And it's like, we're probably not good enough, but like, I don't feel like I'm good enough for social media, but God does, so I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try my best to do the things that he's called me to. And I wasn't always like that. I feel like I'm just now, like, now I'm very inspired, and I'm like, okay, as long as I'm inspired to do this and feeling very productive and driven, I'm just gonna try my best. And even when I don't, like, I just have to be better at pushing through. And that's another thing that he's really been helping me with, is pushing through when I don't know, just sitting in front of the computer and looking at the Canva stuff, just like moving things around, trying to be better. I get very easily overwhelmed, so I have to start stuff early so I give myself enough time for everything. He's just showing me so many things that I'm like, okay, where he's like, I want you to do this, but do it this way. Like, start here, start here, start here. He's really being very patient with me and very kind, very loving. Like, sometimes in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not doing this good. But he's like, no, you're doing way better than you were before. So just stick with that. What else do I need? And a whole nother example, I think I'm going to do like a TikTok or a reel for this, but I had bought these plants yesterday on Saturday, and I haven't repotted them yet, but I'm going to. I was like looking at the bottom, and some of the roots were like growing out on the bottom. It was crazy because God, like, really, he spoke to me and he was like, yes, like the roots are growing out in the bottom in the pot that they're in right now, but when you repot them, you have to give them room to grow. So he was like, that's exactly what I have to do with you, with us, is that when we're being repotted, we're put in a place where like we don't fit yet. Like we don't have the experience, we're not rooted, our roots are still, you know, we give the plant like this much room to grow still. So it may seem like we're not big enough, but that's the point. So we have room to grow. Like, we just have to be in that uncomfortable space for us to grow. Why would God put the roots are already here and then the roots are here and he gives us this much room to grow? Like, that doesn't make sense. You want to repot a plant, you give it like more, you give it enough room so you don't have to repot it all the time, you know? So you might have this much dirt, the roots are here, you might have like this much dirt so the roots can continue to go to the bottom, and then you get a bigger pot and more dirt and you give it more room. So it can be very uncomfortable because you're like, God, my roots are here and this is the pot that you put me in. But that's the point, that he'll walk with us, and we have to be patient with the plant. We have to give it a really good environment for it to grow. Like, that's what God's doing for us, and we just have to cultivate it. And that's what God's doing for us, and we just have to cultivate it and just lean into him. Like, a plant's not going to take care of itself. We have to lean on God. The plant is leaning on us to feed it. If it's not growing, to change the soil, like, you know what I mean? Just give it good water, give it good plant food, like whatever. That's what God does for us. And I feel like when we're in new spaces, like, we just have to lean on him more, just like the plant has to lean on us. They can't water it itself, you know, it can't change its own pot or its own soil, you know? So I just thought that was a really good example for how God treats us. I think we good. Hold on though. Last but not least, Fenty Beauty. We cannot forget the gloss. What kind is this? Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb. Can't forget the gloss. I didn't drink one bit of my coffee. Okay, let's take this scarf off. I've had this scarf on all, oh, wait. Wow, I put mousse on my hair so it'd be flat, but shit, because we all know we gotta blend that. We gotta blend it. It's crazy because I'm getting ready to do absolutely nothing. I'm not about to do nothing, y'all. I'm just doing this laundry. Yes, okay, so, but yeah, I'm just being goofy. Thank you so much. Let me just take one sip. Okay. I look back at the video, I'm like, y'all, why were these two things sticking out? Weak. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. I put a lot of work into it and I really appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you would like to listen to my podcast, all the links will be in the description box for Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast, it's available, trust me. Yeah, we're gonna be back this coming week, next week, whenever, I don't know, but I already have some more video ideas for you guys, so I'm super excited about that. But I really appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.